Lesson 11, a letter, poem for class 4 English 2. Dear children, this lesson is a poem called A Letter written by the poetess Margaret G. Rhodes. In this, you will learn how a girl is writing a letter, which is an old mode of communication. Writing, these days we all use emails, internet for sending or a letter or communicating. And you will also learn how carefully she writes the different parts of the letter, so through which you will also learn how to write a letter. Children, there are two types of letter. One is a formal letter and another one is an informal letter. This is an informal letter because she's writing to her mother. Means it's a personal letter. She's writing to her family. So when we write any letter to our family or relatives or friends, such letters are called personal or informal letters. Okay, children, so let's get started. Let's read the poem and understand about this old mode of communication. I am writing a letter to send by post. It is to the person I care for the most. I write the date clearly and put the address and begin, Dearest Mummy. Did anyone guess? My pen travels slowly all down the long sheet because I'm so anxious to keep it all neat. I carefully blot it to dry up the ink. Such a nice blotting paper, the color is pink. I turn the page over and on goes my pen till lastly comes the kisses. There's room just for 10. The envelope's ready. I put the stamp on and run to the post box, and now it has gone. So, children, we learn that the poet is writing a letter and he is going to send that letter through post, means through the postal service. The postman will come and pick it up from the post box and send it to the person we have addressed to. And he says, the poet is saying, that is to the person he cares or she cares for the most. And first, how is she writing the letter? I write the date clearly. So the first thing we should write is the date clearly. And then she writes the address. She puts the address. Then below that we write the address. Then it comes the salutation to whom we are writing. We address it. We say, and she's saying, she's starting with, now starts the parts of the main section of the letter. So she is addressing it as Dearest Mummy. So with this we can guess that this letter is being written to her mother. Then her pen is slowly traveling, means she's writing very slowly all down the long sheet. It's a very long sheet and she's writing it very slowly, so that, and she's very excited, so that her writing very slowly, and she's very excited to keep her letter neat and clean. And I carefully blotted to dry up the ink. So she's using this blotting paper, pink color, pink blotting paper, and she's waiting carefully to dry up the ink, because when we use this ink pen we need to wait for it to dry, otherwise the ink may spoil the paper and your writing may be spoiled. I turn the page over and on goes my pen. So she keeps on writing and her pen goes on. And she turns the page over. So she has written one full page. Now she has started on the second page. Till lastly comes the kisses. So she has finished her letter. Now she is ending the letter with some kisses. And she written, and the space was only for 10 kisses. Now the envelope is ready, because once we write the letter, that letter has to be put into an envelope. So now that envelope is ready. How? First we need to put a stamp on it. So she puts the stamp on and then seals it, and then goes to she runs to the post box. We all have seen it's kept on the streets and lanes for us to post the letter. It's a red colored cylindrical shape letter box. She goes there, post box, and then now it has gone. So once we put it into that post box, the postman comes and picks it up, and that letter is sent to the person we have addressed to. So I hope you enjoyed this poem. I would want you to read this at least 3 to 4 times and learn the first 8 lines, that is 2 stanzas of this poem, and learn well. If you keep reading it, it will help you to understand the parts of the letter also. We will be doing some exercises of this lesson. That is, the first one is exercise A, fill in the blanks, which is given on page number 104 of your book. So first question is, the poet is writing dash and which will be sent by dash. So what's the answer? The poet is writing a letter which will be sent by post. The poet will write the dash and dash clearly. What is he going to write? The parts of the letter very clearly. The date and the address. The number 3, the poet wants to keep the letter neat, and or you can say neatly. Number 4, the poet is sending the letter to her mother. Number 5, the poet has to stick a dash on the envelope. What is she going to stick? A stamp on the envelope. Now you can check the answer and write it in your book and copy. This is the answer key for this exercise. Now let's move on to the next exercise. Find the rhyming words for the given words below. Write one more of your own. So you have to write one rhyming word which is used in the poem, and then write your own, one more of your own. Okay, so first one is toast, number 2 is mess, number 3 is treat, number 4 is blink, number 5 is taunt. So let's see the answers. So the answers are, first one is toast. So the words used here are post and most, and I have used given you one more of my own, host. You can also write your own if you want. Number 2, mess. The rhyming words given in the poem are address, guess, and my own is chess. Number 3, treat. The 2 rhyming words in the poem are sheet, neat, and my own is seat. Number 4 is blink. The rhyming words in the poem are ink and pink, and one extra one is think from me. Number 5, torn. On and gone are from the poem, and born is from of my own. Okay, so children, this was the rhyming words. This was the exercise on rhyming words. Rhyming words are the words which give the similar sounds at the ending. Okay, now let's do exercise B, many letters start with dear and end with yours truly. So we start, these are called the salutation part and the closing part. So we start with dear and the name of the person to whom we are writing. So for example, if we are writing to mummy, we say dear mummy, dear father, dear friend Amit, or dear friend Anu. Like this we write. So here, what other endings can we use while writing letters? So when we have written the letter, we need to end it. We have to close it with. So here the letter is written ended with yours truly. What other phrases we can use here? Regards we can use, best regards we can use, yours lovingly we can use, yours affectionately we can use. Children, remember, if you use your, then you have to say your loving and the name of the friend, or your name. Okay, so not name of the friend, not the name of the friend, the person who's writing. Like if you are writing, then you will say your loving friend, your loving, then you can say your loving son, your loving daughter. Like this you have to write. If you're saying yours, then you have to say lovingly. Okay, now so these are the endings used in a letter. So there are many more, you can learn these now. The next part is the question answers part. How do you know that question number 1, answer the following questions. This is given on page number 105. Question 1 is, how do you know that the poet is writing a letter to her mother? So the answer to this question is, we know that the poet is writing a letter to her mother as she begins it with dearest mummy. Question number 2, why is the poet anxious? The answer is, the poet is anxious to keep the letter neat. Number 3, what paper does the poet use which is pink in color? The answer is, the poet uses a pink, not used children, it is uses, the poet uses a pink blotting paper to dry up the ink. Question number 4, how many pages has the poet used to write her letter? The poet has used 2 pages to write her letter. This we come to know when she says, I turn the page over. Right? Now, question number 5. What will the poet do now after the letter is written? The answer is, the poet will stamp the envelope and put the letter into it. Then she will run to the post box to post it. So, that's all for today, children. This is the complete lesson, which is a poem called A Letter. I hope you enjoyed, and do whatever I have instructed to do in this lesson, and learn it well for your exam. Take care.